One big thing about Star Trek, Section 31 as villain makes no sense when Paramount Plus officially unveiled Star Trek. Section 31. It promised an espionage-driven story that would delve into the Federation's shadowy Black Ops division and deliver a morally complex tale unlike any other in the franchise. For the most part, it succeeds. Michelle Yeoh's return as Philippa Georgiou is a gift to fans. The production design is sleek, and the premise feels bold. But for all of the show's intelligence and intrigue, its main antagonist has one glaring flaw that undermines the entire narrative. Simply put, Section 31's villain makes no sense. A villain designed to shock, the show introduces Admiral Malvic, a high-ranking Starfleet intelligence officer who has been secretly manipulating both Federation and non-Federation worlds for decades. On paper, Malvic is exactly the kind of morally ambiguous villain a series like this needs. Urbane, strategic, and always 3 steps ahead of everyone else. His ideology, that the Federation has grown weak by clinging to its principles, echoes classic Trek antagonists like Admiral Marcus in Star Trek Into Darkness or even Sloan from Deep Space Nine. But unlike those predecessors, Malvic's schemes quickly spiral from ruthless pragmatism into near cartoonish villainy. He's not just orchestrating covert coups. He's engineering interstellar bioweapons, assassinating allies, and framing entire species to trigger wars. This raises a crucial question. How has a person doing all this remained a decorated Starfleet admiral without a single whistleblower or inquiry? The plausibility problem. Section 31 has always been a divisive concept in Star Trek canon. When introduced in Deep Space Nine, it was portrayed as an unacknowledged, extra-legal group operating in the Federation's shadows. Its very lack of official status explained how it could act so ruthlessly. The audience could believe that Sloan and his operatives existed in the margins, invisible and deniable. But in Star Trek, Section 31, Malvic isn't in the shadows, he's at the top. The show openly depicts him sitting on Starfleet Command Security Council, personally approving missions, and even appearing at Federation press conferences. Yet we're supposed to believe that nobody questions why this man keeps authorizing covert Black Ops missions that violate treaties and spark galactic crises. The series treats him like a Bond villain inside a utopian democracy. It's a contradiction the scripts never convincingly resolve. Ideology versus action. Another problem lies in Malvic's stated motivations. He claims to be a patriot who believes the Federation must protect itself in a dangerous galaxy. This is compelling ground for a villain. After all, Starfleet officers are trained to explore, not to spy, so a hardened realist inside the organization should feel unsettling. But the show undercuts this by having Malvic engage in actions that would clearly destroy the Federation if exposed. For instance, an early episode reveals he's been secretly supplying weapons to a Klingon splinter group in order to destabilize the High Council, then framing the Romulans for it. This isn't protecting the Federation, it's lighting the galaxy on fire. The audience is left wondering, does Malvic actually believe his own rhetoric? Or is he just a power-hungry megalomaniac? The scripts never decide. Instead of an ideological foil for Georgiou, he becomes a stock villain whose motivations shift to fit the plot of the week. Wasted potential opposite Georgiou. This inconsistency matters because Section 31's greatest asset is Michelle Yeoh. Her Georgiou, a mirror universe empress turned reluctant Federation agent, embodies moral ambiguity. She's ruthless but pragmatic, and her struggle to adapt to Federation ideals gives the show its emotional core. A well-crafted antagonist could have mirrored Georgiou's journey, someone who believes just as deeply in the Federation, but draws opposite conclusions about how to protect it. Imagine a character whose loyalty makes him tragic rather than cartoonish. A man whose devotion to Starfleet leads him to take darker and darker measures until he's indistinguishable from the threats he fears. That would give Georgiou a moral challenge as well as a tactical one. Instead, Malvic often feels like a prop to push Georgiou further along her redemption arc. He's so unambiguously villainous that she looks heroic simply by opposing him. What could have been a cat and mouse duel of wits between 2 equally compromised operatives becomes a straightforward, stop the bad guy plotline. The consequences don't add up, even within the show's own logic. Malvic's survival strains credulity. By mid-season, multiple captains, intelligence officers, and even Federation Council members have evidence of his crimes. Yet he continues to direct operations from his Starfleet office. This is especially bizarre given that Section 31 wants to position itself as a grounded spy thriller. In a James Bond movie, audiences accept that villains have volcano lairs because it's heightened fantasy, but Star Trek prides itself on internal consistency. When a show breaks that, fans notice, and they have noticed. Social media buzz after the 3rd episode saw hashtags like Hash too evil for Starfleet trending among Trek.